The iPhone 16 Pro Max, the smartphone that requires little introduction. Every year, the Pro Max model is the biggest, most powerful, most coveted of the released iPhones. No difference here. The iPhone 16 Pro Max screen has grown to 6.9 inches from 6.7 inches. Its camera bump is hard to miss and loaded with high-res sensors, and its processor is yet another heavy hitter built on an improved 3nm process. And yes, it's getting AI. We'll get to that. Of course, it landed in a market that's already had the Galaxy S24 Ultra swinging about for months. That's Samsung's first AI-loaded smartphone, with Galaxy AI's plethora of features for text composition, summary, image generation, live translation, etc. It's well established as one of the most powerful Android smartphones with its Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 tuned specifically for Galaxy, its gorgeous 6.8-inch AMO LED screen, elaborate software with S Pen support, its own AI tricks up its sleeve, and very good cameras. It will very soon be replaced by a Galaxy S25 Ultra, probably in January, but the Galaxy S24 Ultra is still waving its flagship banner high, present in all Samsung mobile marketing material as the best Galaxy you can buy right now. Well, that was an introduction. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it and see how the new iPhone 16 Pro Max does against the tried and true Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. As usual, the iPhone doesn't change much about its looks. We have the same rectangular shape with soft corners, flat sides with a bevel, and yes, a dynamic island pill-shaped cutout in the display, exactly where the selfie camera and Face ID sensors sit. There's also an even thinner bezel, and the screen grows to 6.9 inches in diagonal, ever so slightly larger than the Galaxy S24 Ultra 6.8-inch panel. But it's not just bezel magic. The dimensions of the iPhone 16 Pro Max also changed slightly to 163 by 77.6 millimeter, whereas the Galaxy S24 Ultra is 162.3 by 79. So yes, the Galaxy is wider, which helps with S Pen writing. You have one brand new button too on the iPhone, the camera control. It's a physical key with a capacitive surface. As the name suggests, it works with Apple's camera app, but believe it or not, it's also open for use by third-party camera apps. In many ways, this is like the shutter key on a traditional camera, but Apple adds a special touch with that capacitive surface so you can swipe on it to zoom in and out or control other camera features. Very cool. As for colors, Apple sticks with its more restrained hues for the Pro models. You have the following colors: white titanium, black titanium, natural titanium, gray, and desert titanium. Samsung offers a slightly larger collection. On regular, you can get the Galaxy S24 Ultra in titanium violet, titanium yellow, titanium black, and titanium gray. However, if you order from Samsung.com, there are 3 extra exclusive colors to pick from: titanium blue, titanium green, and titanium orange. So the iPhone 16 Pro Max comes with the largest screen ever on an iPhone at 6.9 inches. As with the 15 Pro series, you have that always-on feature which drops the refresh rate to 1 Hz and keeps your wallpaper or custom pictures still over the entirety of the screen. The Galaxy S24 Ultra uses Samsung's homemade AMO LED panel, also with a variable refresh rate that can drop down to 1 Hz. It also has always on, though a bit more conservative, as the Galaxy can't do all the screen wallpaper while the phone's asleep. The big difference between these two, however, is reflectivity. The Galaxy comes with a special anti-reflective coating that obliterates most reflections, and this helps immensely to see the screen easily outdoors. The iPhone doesn't have this feature, which is sorely missed. Under the hood of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, you get an Apple A18 Pro chipset. Built on the 2nd Gen 3nm process by TSMC, it's cutting edge, and at the time of the launch, it's the first phone to use that process. The previous A17 Pro chip that Apple used was powerful, but it needed to throttle just after a couple of minutes of hard work. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 inside the Galaxy S24 Ultra is also a stellar performer, capable of standing toe-to-toe versus Apple's silicone, especially considering that it takes a bit more stressing to make it throttle. For software updates, Samsung has also upped its game. The new Galaxy flagships come with a 7-year software update commitment, meaning the Galaxy S24 Ultra will hit its cap in 2031. Apple iPhones typically get 5 years worth of iOS updates. In reality, 5 years is plenty time, as at that time the phone's hardware may also be beat up enough to warrant an upgrade. But 7 years is just unbeatable headroom. After upgrading the main camera with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, then the zoom camera with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, Apple now turned its sights to the ultra-wide camera. The iPhone 16 Pro Max now comes with a 48MP ultra-wide instead of 12MP. The Galaxy S24 Ultra has a 200MP main camera, 10MP 3x telephoto camera, another zoom camera that's 50MP and 5x, and a 12MP ultra-wide camera. It's not about the pixels and lenses though, as in the world of smartphones. Automatic post-processing plays a huge part in the final image. The iPhone 16 Pro Max gets the longest battery life ever on an iPhone, and that is impressive considering previous phones were also long-lasting. What does that mean though? Thanks to teardowns, we know that the iPhone 16 Pro Max battery is 4,685 mAh, really the biggest battery in an iPhone. That's up against the Galaxy, which has a 5,000 mAh cell, which is considered the current golden standard for big-size flagship phones. iPhones sound great, especially the ones that have more room for the sound to bounce in, those being the Plus and Pro Max models. The new iPhone 16 Pro Max continues the tradition of loud and clear sound with plenty of brilliance in the highs and surprisingly audible bass. The Galaxy S24 Ultra also sounds pretty good. It's a bit of a different profile. The Galaxy has more mids, while the iPhone is a bit more scooped, but it also produces a lot of bass somehow. In either case, we wouldn't mind the sound out of either of those phones. Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max isn't exactly the earth-shattering, mouth-watering, game-breaking upgrade we expected exactly. But it does come with some improvements, and iOS 18 does the rest to give it a fresh new flair. It's still a premium smartphone right up there at the top, and will certainly be the one that many smartphones are compared to over the coming year. But let's not underestimate the Galaxy S24 Ultra here. It's been a heavy hitter ever since it launched this January. It's a solid performance, wider screen with S Pen support, more versatile zoom camera, and arguably AI features that are a bit ahead of Apple. Then there's also the fact that the Galaxy S25 Ultra model is coming in early 2025, which isn't too far away. If it can build on top of the great platform that the S24 Ultra is, it may just be worth waiting for. If you're out to buy yourself a flagship smartphone right now and are trying to decide between the Galaxy S24 Ultra and iPhone 16 Pro Max, we can honestly say that both of these are excellent. Your decision should involve the wider ecosystems around them, iOS or Android, Apple Watch or Galaxy Watch? Are you using an Apple computer or a Windows or Samsung laptop? Are you platform agnostic? Well, pick the one that looks better.